Hey folks, welcome to Clipsy's Bricks. So today we're going to look at, as you might have guessed, the Fire Brigade modular, which is set 10197. It was launched in September of 2009 and it retired at the end of December 2013. Originally it retailed for 100 pounds or $150 US, and it consisted of 2,215 parts with 4 minifigures and 1 dog. If you wanted to buy this new today in 2023, I think the cheapest I saw it on Bricklink for new was $685, and sorry, these are all in US dollar, US currency, and then the cheapest used version was $480. Typically, when I do these videos, I show you a bunch of bins with parts in it, but I frankly haven't sorted them yet. And what I thought I'd do is actually focus on the pricier, more unique parts to the set first, and then we'll start looking at the build from here. So with that said, move him out of the way. What we're actually going to note, just to start off, when I parted out this set, I did not part out the fire truck that goes with it, and I also didn't bother getting any of the minifigures, simply because I have too many other fire sets and firefighter sets. So I have lots of minifigures. I've got lots of fire trucks, and I just figured I'd use one of those to go along with the set. So that said, let's get into the first bunch of parts. So the first big ones are part 2400, which are these doors. You need 2 of them. It's a door 1x5x10 with curved top. Pretty expensive. This uses the old style of shutter hinge or shutter connection. They don't really make them anymore. I did decide to splurge on these. The cheapest I saw on Bricklink is they're going for basically north of $5 US new, and of course you need 2 of them. But in addition to that, so okay, you spend your $10 for the 2 doors. The other part that goes with them, which is 3581, it's a brick modified 1x1x2 with shutter holder. These ones, for new, they were going for north of $2.50 each, and that was the cheapest, which I think was in Sweden. In the US, I think they were the minimum or the lowest cost for brand new in the US was $7 each. I gotta say, these are the kind of elements that I don't like buying used. Not that I usually buy used parts anyways, but anything that's got, a little nib or whatever, to me that's a potential weak spot, and you just never know what you're going to get with used parts. So I don't actually remember what I paid for these, since I bought them a few months ago, and I can't find the invoice. So moving on, the next thing, you need 2 hoses, parts 75C10 and 75C19, and I believe these are used for the pole, for the firefighter pole inside, but this is the C19, which is a 19L or 15.2 centimeter length, but you also need the 10L or 8 centimeter length. Now, I actually ended up just buying 2 of the longer ones, because the shorter one I found, the ones I saw, actually cost more than the longer ones. So I just figured I would buy 2 longer ones, and I know horror, I'm going to cut one down. And now moving right along, actually before I do, I think you can get, there is a variety of aftermarket hoses or materials like this that you could buy to replace this instead of buying the official Lego ones. But moving right along, the other element that I refused to spend too much on was part 6246, the minifigure utensil tool wheel, which is 6 on sprue. Again, I was seeing these for the minimum of $6 US new. But what I did is I found on Lego.com bricks and pieces, you can get, this is part 11402, and it is essentially the same thing, minifigure tools, and it's only $2.48 US. So the set requires it in black, but they also have it in silver metallic, so I figured for the cost I'd pick them up, and I can always use these somewhere else. So just a thought. And then lastly, there is part 50946. It's a vehicle grill. Get these out. 1 by 2 by 2 2/3 sloping. There goes one. And you need 3 of these for the set, but you only need 2 if you're not going to build the fire part of the fire engine. So I only got 2, but these were, again, for new. The cheapest I saw it was $5 US. Again, that was not a US seller. Cheapest, I think the most of these for new on bricks and on Bricklink were north of $10 US, and I think they went up to as high as $50 US for one piece, which I'm pretty sure I just bought these used, given the price, and actually pretty lucky, and I think they're in pretty good shape. So I don't mind spending a little extra money on certain parts, but sometimes there's just not a whole lot of options, and so I kept it lower here. And then lastly, part 48288 is an 8x16 tile in dark blue gray. It's supposed to go right here. Cheapest I saw it was $7 US. But a friend of mine, Ned B, Lego City over on Twitch, he had also built the Fire Brigade, and I'd seen him, and he had swapped out that tile for these 2 8x8 grill plates, and I liked the look of that, so I decided to follow suit. So I used those here instead of that big massive tile. And as you can see, I already got started building this. I just started one day with what I had on hand, and I was able to get this far, and then that's kind of what convinced me to go ahead and part this one out. So with this build out, I've decided to go a little bit different route. I'm not necessarily going to adhere specifically or directly to the instructions. I want to play with this one a little bit, since have some fun and kind of make this modular my own. So I'm going to use the instructions, and then I'm going to go from there. So hope you stick around and see how this comes together. And I guess I will be back in a little bit, which in real life is probably a couple days. And I'm back. It's been about a week. Actually, I think it's been exactly a week, and I am done. So I guess right from the get-go, you'll probably notice the biggest alteration I made was here with the sliding door. I did not go with the white and red. Instead, went with the light trans blue, since they were readily available on the Lego.com bricks and pieces or pick a brick option. And I kind of knew right from the get-go that I was kind of always planning to do that. So there's that. The other change you might notice is I changed up the colors here on the tree. I just kind of quickly grabbed whatever I had at hand. I don't think it really makes a difference. So that's the big things. The other thing you may notice is I don't actually have any of the window glass in yet, simply because it was in my part storage and I didn't bother to go run and get them all. That I don't think I actually have the glass for here, for those is that 2x4 or 3x4x1 windows. So I'll probably have to get those in the future. I have to say, I did not enjoy this build at all. The upper floor was fine, and the roof I actually kind of liked, but mainly this front, all the dark tan and dark gray section in the front here, I found it very repetitive and tedious. Was not thrilled at all. This is probably the first modular part out, I have to say, that I have not loved the entire process. I did not enjoy it. There's a lot of small parts. It's really repetitive. And I think moving forward, this is one of the areas I am going to change. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to update all these 1x2 dark gray bricks to the masonry ones. I think I'm just going to add a little bit more flair to the front. And I think these ones here too, we're all 1x2s. You can just, it's interesting. You really, when you go through the instructions as you're building, you can really see, I guess, the age of the build, given that there's, I'm assuming there just wasn't the parts available in the colors that they used at the time. So they used, like I said, there's a lot of 1x2, 1x2 plates, 1x1 plates, or a combination of the two, where now we would probably use a 1x3. So we're going to do a quick spin around the building, and I'll point out a couple other things I've changed, and then just kind of share my general thoughts. So here we go. So one of the things I did do is all the 1x2s, I had a bunch of the masonry brick, or the profile bricks with the masonry. So I changed out all of the 1x2 reds, dark reds, with the masonry option. There's those back doors. But other than that, that's probably the biggest change. Like I said, other than the doors here, the sliding door, everything else is the way the instructions called for. I'll just open it up, show you quickly inside, and then we'll go from there. Oops, yeah, those those helmets aren't secure. So interesting use of the frog piece though, as down in there, as hat racks. Not a lot going on. Definitely more than maybe some of the earlier modulars, but there's starting to get a little bit more interior, but there's still not a whole lot going on inside. And the second floor, I did like the ping pong or table tennis build. That was quite fun. Also, interesting little fridge build here. And then little kitchen area. I didn't actually put the other pole piece there in, just because I do plan to change some things up. And then a little cabinet, and another stairs up to the roof. Here's on the roof. Interesting build techniques here. I gotta say though, it was a struggle. Definitely had some issues. I had to redo that twice, I think, just to get it right. Something's not looking right to me there. I did a double check that. It looks like it's off, but maybe not. Definitely like the water tower build. That was quite fun, and I actually was surprised that the bell is free swinging. I wasn't expecting that. I know, like most modulars, we expect, you know, some really nice decorative roof line details. My final thoughts here on the Fire Brigade. It's, you know, it's a modular, so it's an interesting build. It has some interesting build techniques that, you know, you can learn from. Whether or not, the question of, is it worth it to part out? I don't think so. I mean, if you're dying to have the building, yeah, by all means, go ahead. Cost wise, it's, you know, there's not a whole lot of unique parts. I think I pointed them out at the beginning of the video. You know, the ones, I think these door pieces may actually run you more if you get the red and white pieces. But you know, there's alternatives. Everything else is pretty standard. Even the gold, you know, gold helmets and the gold plate and whatnot, and gold tiles, they're not. They weren't that expensive. You know, in the grand scheme of things, and most of it is just regular bricks, regular windows, doors, stairways, you know, staircases. These things are all, you know, still readily available. With that said, I'm just gonna wrap up here. I probably will come back to this in the future. I do have some plans to both, as I pointed out, to modify the exterior a little bit. But I think I'm going to repurpose the building. I got a fun idea, I think, to change things up, the purpose of the building. So I think I'll come back to that in the future. And so this won't be the last time you see the Fire Brigade. Well, appreciate you watching. If you like this video, whether you like the build or not, if you like the video, feel free to, you know, drop a like on it. If you like this kind of content and my videos, feel free to subscribe. Appreciate it. You know, all these things help out the channel and allow me to, or inspire me anyways, to continue to do more. So that's it. Thanks a lot, and take care, everyone.